Baruch Flashman back here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. PARSHAT YISRO in the ZOHAR. Now these are the words actually of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, approximately, let's say, 2,000 years ago, 1,800 years ago. And they've been preserved, read and reread. And we're blessed with the Ariyah Kodesh, who came for really only one reason, and that was to unlock the secrets and give us a way to understand the secrets of the Zohar. So now let's take a look at some of these secrets as we read along here. We're going to take the Matuk Medavash. We'll read as much of the dark print as necessary in order to follow along. We want to see what the Matuk Medavash says. B'yishma YISRO Ko in Midyan, this is a quote from our Parsha. Chos Moshe, Moshe's father-in-law. Eskola also everything that had happened. So he said, "Today the Farish Pasuk Zeb, Rebbe Lozer began, and he said like this: V'Ama Hikdim the Farish Mashakot." So many texts, and he has this pasuk: "V'Yisa Aron as Yadav." So he said, "V'Yivarachem," and then it ends on then he blessed them. He lifted up his hands to bless them. Ksiv Yado. So it's written Yado, which is singular. Chaser Yud Hamorachad, which is really, so there should be written Yud Dalad Yud Vav. That's the way Yadav means plural. But if it's just Yado, it means one. So he said Hamorachad al Yad Achas, on one hand, the Horoski Afal Pi Sha'aron Herim Beis Yadin. So even we understand that Aaron lifted up two hands. Levarach es Yisrael, Shachakri hu Yadav B'lashon Rabim. Now let's read this over him. Ki afal pi, that even though Sha'an Racham Herim Beis Yadav, he lift up two of his hands. And you see how Yadav is written here. Levarach es Yisrael, Kamo Shehikri Shachakri hu Yadav, because the way we read it, even though it's written Yadav without the Yud, the Kri is that B'lashon Rabim. So that was, but it's read as if it was. Im kol zecha because of Yada, but it's really actually physically written Yada, which means singular, b'lashon yachid is singular. So the fi shed sarach laherim as yad hayaminis, because the halacha is, and this is halacha, that it's necessary to lift up the right hand al yad small over the left hand. And so we've said, we've explained the secret. So we already explained this, is in order, lahadver as midas chesed, in order to make the midah chesed, which is referred to the right side, al midas gavura, which we understand is on the left side. He chamesh itzbos, so he says like this, is a little shtickle that we need to know. He says the 5 fingers shall yad yamim of the right hand, hengeneged the chamisha chesadim shebemalchus. So these are the 5 chesadim that are contained in das, and ultimately wind up in malchus to actually cause a yichud. But also v'chamesh etzbos al yad small, the 5 fingers on the left hand, hem keneged the chamesh gevuros shebemalchus, the 5 gevuros that are in malchus. V'chein Herim Akrom as Yad Yamino. So therefore, what do we want to say? Do we have 5 on one side, which is 5 on the other side? That's like a war. It's like a basketball game, right? They're like opponents. So therefore, we lift up the right one higher. So if Aaron al Yad Yamino Lumala Miyad Smol, it makes it higher. Why? Kadei Lahagvir Hachasadim ala Gavurus, in order to be able to overpower or to strengthen the Chasadim, they should be greater than the Gavurus. She Yech HaGavurus Nichlalos B'Chesed U'Kefufos. So that the Gavurus should become a part of Chesed, and then they should become humbled to the Chesed. Let's read on a little bit more. Hemshek Rebbe Lozer v'Rambam. So Rebbe Lozer continued. Eshkachtem b'sifra de Shlomo Malko. He said, Matzase b'sifra shel Shlomo HaMelech. Let's see what. Shekol mi shemerim yadach of the mala. Anyone who lifts up his hand, shalol letzorach the fetus of kavuos, if the person's not the fetus of kavuos, if it's not during Shmona Esrei davening, or bakasha, so you're asking something for pratios. Hai ihu bar nash is lataya asov dezelku adam shemiskalel b'chasar shaltunim. This is a person who is going to be cursed by 10 different rulers, shehem asara malachim, which are 10 malachim, and mamonim al inyan ramas yadayim, which are appointed and work in conjunction with the movement of your hands upwards. Because he's arousing them for nothing. So he said, so we're calling them monim. But again, this is a language that is applied to malachim. So he says, ear. Now let's go through all of that there because he's teaching me something. So these 10 different angels, these monitoring angels, which were rooted in the 10 spheres of Malchus. Now we're down below Malchus. He's talking about the Malchus of Atzilus. So these 10 spheres are rooted in there. He says these mamonim are rooted in the 10 spheres of Malchus and Nikras ear, which is called ear. The fi shapirish dinim shaba gematria ear. So he said the fi. I don't know about machre or bracha. Those are not. I didn't really quite get that. Ilun ina asara the mamanim al prisor the yadin la ela. So these elu heim asara malachim sheba olam abriya. He says in olam abriya, this is a deep inner world from us. Amamunim al perishas yadayim, which was on the lifting up of the hands. B'lomala be'esa tefillah, when you lift them up when you're praying. What do they do? Reading in Hebrew. He says lakabel tefillah haki oha brachahu. So in other words, they're in a position that they're going to pick up that prayer. V'heim nosnim koach ba'adam. They bring strength into the person of mispala b'charamas yadayim, who the person is playing as he is lifting up his hands. L'kaved es shem hakodesh adni, which in order to, this is read it carefully. They bring honor to the Shem HaKodesh, which is the name Adni. Shuhu b'malchus ayadei tefilaso. So this seems to be important to me. I don't really quite understand it, so I'll read it again. V'heim noisnim koach ba'adam. So this fact of lifting up their hands brings a strength in the person. A mispalu is praying. When he lifts up his hands, l'kaved the Shem HaKodesh Adni, in order, and what does this do? It brings a kavod, the name of Kodesh, which is Adni. Now, Adni, so that's the first word, incidentally, that you say when you start the Shemona Esrei, Adni Sfasai Tiftach. So he says, now you begin this, and this is a process of hands, that's it, so to speak, on invisible hands, or hands that are not seen in the physical world. Shehu b'malchus ayaditi filosa, which would mean the malchus of Atzilus. When a person plays and he's lifting up his hands, his bows, all of his 10 fingers, the kufos are erect, upright. It arouses the 10 spheres of malchus, and that malchus, understand, I saw in another place recently. I think it was in Rabbi Memram, but I'm not sure. Maybe it was in Yaakov Cronenberg, Rabbi Yaakov Cronenberg. The malchus is actually the concept of a nukva, which is an opening. So it's open for the top and it's open at the bottom. So he said, "Hu ma'order eses spheres the malchus that are inside of malchus to lashpia koach v'shefel elyon shefel love, to bring down, to pour down strength, v'shefel, that's the flow itself of bracha." A love shetihiyah tevilas shalemus, that he could have a complete prayer. So the malchus is blessed. That is the malchus of Atzilus. We're talking about, a really deep place to have a kavanah to try to reach. So the malchus of that Atzilus, misbereches milamata, it gets all of its bracha, that is, its ability to be able to pull down greater light, because the bracha is coming from down below, and it continues going all the way up right through Malchus, because she is an opening, so to speak. Mekoach tevilosach of Yirkoso, she'alo alecho besod man. Now this is called, I've heard it translated now as feminine waters. What it means is blessing from the bottom. It's blessings from the bottom. It is the contention of the Zohar that the blessings at the bottom are the ones that reaches the highest places. We are at the bottom. So she'alo besod man, mukushetes Mishefa Eser Spheros, that is now this man is going to be adorned with these 10 Spheros that came out as a result of him lifting up his hand and drawing this down onto himself. He's man Eser Spheros, and for those 10 Spheros of Malchus, he said, "V'keven shacham Malchus misberechas melamata mekoich precious or yadayim." So since Malchus is blessed from down below, because of the lifting up, the spreading of the hands, and we're talking here specifically about Aaron HaKohen, L'malda ba'esa tefillah, the time of tefillah. Az mizbarechas ha'malchus gam melamala, this causes Malchus to be drawn down. So trying to say before, that Malchus is a two-way street. So what comes in from the bottom continues on, and what goes up to the Most High. And when the Most High, the most panimistic aspect, which we cannot understand, but it brings back a bracha back down the same train tracks, right back through Malchus again, and through those 10 spheres of Malchus that we're talking about, which are these 10 angels that are appointed to receive your prayers, brings them back down to you. And the blessed melamata mekoich precious yadayim, because that lamalda be'esa tefillah, so because it's a bracha in Malchus, and the same process applies to Malchus. Don't think that the Shekhinah doesn't know what's going on in your life. This causes mizer anpen besod mayim duchrin. This is bringing another concept that we have to understand. There are female waters and male waters. The female waters go up from the bottom to the top. The feeling of emptiness, the feeling of not understanding and needing help. And then you have the male waters, which are the answer and the help, to try to make a yichud there so that all can rise. So first it comes from her down below, then it goes from the mala lamata, then it comes back down. This is Baruch Fleischman. That's the Tikkun Elevator Kolo here, learning the words of the holy Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai.